And welcome back, everybody, to the UMG Gaming Studios for the UMG Champions Apex Legends Invitational for $10,000. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Onset, Rain Day, and Girl. They messed me up. They had Onset there. I was an autopilot. I'm sorry, you're not Onset, Rain Day. I think we can all agree. You're a better looking guy than all of those guys,
No.
Right?
Onset's a good man. He's a good man. I'm glad to be in the same company as him. I am.
I know you're trying to be the good guy, but you should hear what they say when you're not in there. And girl, hey, it's good to have you back, looking fresh with the white on white. Yeah, you are. Come on, you got to be. It's been a great tournament, though. Can we both agree on that? A and B are wrapped up. And let's take a look at A and B real quick before we hop into C and D. And I was curious. There it is, Rain Day. Ghost Gaming does get the 3-1 victory over XSET. So that means from Group A, it will be Esports Arena and Ghost moving forward to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost unfortunately couldn't get it done, but that's not anything against them. Ghost could get it done in terms of XSET, but against Esports Arena, they obviously weren't able to take the win. Glad that they're both moving on. Esports Arena clearly proving that they can go toe-to-toe with any of them and come out on top, or at least make it a heck of a series. So I'm excited for these two teams moving on.
Oh, girl, let's take a look at Group B. We saw some excellent series. Actually, we saw Arena Demons play twice. You had the chance to cast over them playing against Torrent in a close Game 5. And then Arena Demons goes to another Game 5 against Renegades, and they end up moving forward, which means Arena Demons and Torrent will be moving forward to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a really close match between Arena Demons and Renegades, as well as Arena Demons and Torrent. So hopefully they've been learning a lot throughout the series so that they could do well again tomorrow. Impressive gameplay by all of these teams. And I would really love to see Torrent and Arena Demons go at it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I'm curious where they're going to maybe one on the top, one on the bottom of the bracket. But let's get into our fresh groups of the day. Group C to start off. Pittsburgh Knights will face off against Rolla Theory, and then Oxygen will face off against CLG. That is going to be the first one we're going to be hopping into, but I'm liking Group C. It looks like we have some standout teams. Curious, though, Rain Day, where you put Rolla Theory in your power rankings when it comes to Group C.
They're not in there, unfortunately, and that's because we just have a lot of people who I already know from the scene who are in this group, and that's not their fault, but it is my fault because I'm coming in it with the experience that I have. Now, that's the best part, I think, about tournaments is that a lot of teams come in without maybe the most experience backed by stuff in the ALGS or the most time that people are betting on them. That sometimes gives them motivation to move forward and make those unbelievable plays. In fact, I had RKN say, hey, girl bet against us. I made sure we won just so that you didn't have to lose against girl. So you never know what kind of motivation I'm giving Roller Theory right now.
Girl, it seems like Rain Day's got the hookup. What's up with that, man? The odds are stacked against you.
Hey, you know what? If players want to play harder just because I'm voting against them, I'm fine with that. I'm watching the best Apex Legends Arenas tournament ever, so good on you, RKN, for winning that out. It was a tough match indeed, and congrats again.
Well, you are the X Factor, girl, it seems. Here's going to be Group D, girl. We have Era Eternity facing off against Rise. That one I'm personally excited for. For you Gears fans out there who may be used to getting on UMG and watching Gears, that's going to be Rushies, Avexies, and Icy from that Rise Gears roster. And I know they know their way around Apex. Going to be tough. And then Navi will play against Neanderthals. So how do you expect Group D is going to work itself out, girl?
Honestly, it's nice to see Navi in this once again. I know their first time around, they didn't do so well, but they are in the winner's bracket. They've been practicing hard, so really excited to see them play against Neanderthals. And Air, Eternity, and Rise, honestly, I think that one's a 50-50, so... Really? Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm curious actually to know if you can extrapolate on that a little bit more. Why a 50-50? I would put Era maybe in a bigger disadvantage. I know they haven't had the best of performance in ALGS, but like Rise also hasn't proven themselves necessarily when it comes to the Apex scene.
Stunny? No. They're so good. Era Eternity's so good. I've been seeing and playing against Stunny. Like, I'm not going to put them down at all whatsoever. It's a 50-50. You're going to see.
Okay. All right, well, I believe you. Look, like I said, you're a wizard, okay? And even though you lose the first prediction, I'm still giving it your way. I'm not going to doubt the experts here, okay? I'm just going to try and sound smart, even though I know I'm not. We have our first series, though. It's going to be a fun one, Oxygen versus CLG. And for Rain Day, I know you're personally excited to watch Oxygen play.
I am, because I got to give a big shout out when I'm rolling a coffee in Encinitas. I see my man John. He reached out. He said, my cousin's Cubski. And I said, wow, unbelievable. I've been casting this guy for a long time.
Small world.
Used to be on Godsend. Now, obviously here with Oxygen Esports representing with Protectful and Rolders. So this is a team I got to look out for. Cubski is a talented young player. And that is what I love about it. So much upside, the skill, the individual real talent Cubski has is at the highest level of probably players in this tournament. But can they put it together as a team? We know how well that can work if you're not if you're not together and focused on the same target. So I'm looking forward to them. I think they'll have the advantage in this game.
All right. Well, Oxygen's getting a ton of gas from you, Rain Day. And girl,
yeah.
I guess let's go ahead and talk about our maps before I ask you about CLG, because I know you got a lot to say about them as well. We'll be starting on Party Crasher, then moving on to Thermal Station, Overflow, Phase Runner, and then Encore, map number 5 once again. It seems like every series, Encore has been map 5 outside of our first one that we did, and that was XF versus Esports Arena. Encore was map 3, but I'm seeing a trend at least.
It is looking pretty trendy. I think this is exactly what we casted earlier. Party Crasher, Thermal, Overflow. It's the same thing. Phase Runner, maybe we're going to see more Ramparts. You never know. Maybe Aiden inspired some other people. Excited definitely to see that. And we got to go with the CLG win here, because if we don't get that, then Rain Day's up 2-0, and that's just not looking good for me.
Hold on. Now, spoiler alert, girls. So I guess let's move into predictions. It sounds like you're going for CLG, so fair enough. That cat's out of the bag, but why are you going with CLG? All jokes aside, do you really believe in them?
Yeah, absolutely, because Rain Day doesn't. I do.
So all jokes not aside, it's now serious talk, okay?
No, it's very serious. I think she believes that. Yeah, and I believe it too. I just have to vote. How can I not vote against Cubski? How can I not, not go with my man who I've seen every single day getting my Americano saying what's up to me? He didn't have to say hi, but he did. He did. That's good energy that's been placed towards this matchup for months. I can't make it happen. It just is.
Hey, look, the coffee's a serious thing, man. I'm 2 cups, maybe 3 cups deep at this point. I'm hyped up, all right? So we have a divide once again between the duo that was much anticipated to come back. But hey, friendly competition is always a great thing. Chat, who are you going to be going with, CLG or Oxygen? CLG. So, girl, you got the majority on your side. But, hey, girl, it didn't work for you last time, did it? Right? I mean, Rain Day was standing by himself, and he ended up winning. Is it different this time?
You don't have to remind me. I mean, it was a really close call, though, last time. It was by like 200 HP close. There's no telling what'll happen today besides CLG winning in this series. So.
And Taylor, one thing too, I think her point that was great. Will we see the Ramparts? Will we see some things change?
Yeah.
I think we will start to see some of these team compositions start to shift later on in these maps if they feel that the aggressive play isn't working for them and they need to slow it down. So I'm looking forward to some of the adjustments these teams will make heading into this matchup for sure.
Yeah, without question, I'm liking the variety. I think more variety in the weapons would be good, but I do understand that Mozambique is powerful, so is the Wingman. Why not use those to the fullest of your abilities? The Wingman is fantastic for getting that chip damage, burning through the cells, and it makes sense. But, I do like the Legend composition. And again, Arena Demons was that team that kind of broke it open in the last tournament, forced teams to kind of readjust. And I really do hope, whether it be Oxygen, CLG, or any of the teams playing in C and D who have yet to compete, we're taking notes, because there is a real reason to shift up the dichotomy when it comes to Legend composition. But it looks like we're loading into the map. I can't wait to get this one started, and I'm curious who's going to end up ahead. Rain Day Girl, take it away.
Thank you so much, Reflections. Rain Day and Girl here on our second cast of the day, following up another triumphant experience with Mark and Dan, Onset and Gaskin. Why didn't Mark just make his screen name his last name just like Dan did? I don't know. It'd be a lot easier to keep track of it. Now we got to do this fake name for Mark, and then we got to actually call Dan his real name. Somebody's getting exposed. Somebody's hiding behind an alias. It just doesn't feel right to me, girl. But at the end of the day, I think what we see here is what feels right. Ultimately, is that this is going to be a matchup that hopefully goes a distance, like we saw with Torrent and Arena Demons. This has the potential, I think, to have a lot of adjustments. And will we see more Ash? That's my big question starting this off, because she was a character we talked a lot about, but hasn't been shown to be the most effective in these earlier games.
She was shown to be effective on this map in particular, but I don't think effective in many other maps. So potentially seeing an Ashe here. Gibby also worked here for Torrent earlier, but not that well, actually. Like, it worked for like a round or two, but... So Gibby, Pathfinder, Octane, and Ashe are kind of the top 4 that I would say on this map.
And I think, you know, when you look at Ashe, right, because of that ultimate, being able to get to where you might want to be in terms of height, but having to spend much more than the Octane jump pad, it makes sense that Nano on CLG has opted for the Octane, getting it for much less credits, and also having the ability and the flexibility for the movement stem outside of it. So your movement isn't just limited to that one moment, and you're not sacrificing too much utility, because really her Q is the only level of utility that Ashe brings to the table in this outside of her ult. Nano, though, already in trouble because he's gotten a little aggressive, and look who it is. Cubski almost going down. He's going to go into the void here, buys himself a couple of seconds, and this is great from Protectful to just buy some time as well. He's one shot away from closing the deal, and Cubski's going to have to turn this around. Nano, however, sees exactly where he is, and he's going to take him down. Rolders will fall as well, and it is CLG pushing the lever here to get a early 1-0 lead.
That was quick. CLG, you know, picked up a whole different roster for a reason. This roster is incredible. They work so well together. They work so well in ALGS together, and they've won so many tournaments and gotten so far. So it's nice to see them play this aggressive on a really good team and absolutely clean wipe them.
Well, this is a really nice start, obviously, for CLG. Oxygen Esports, maybe not the same brand name as far as competing in Apex Legends, and you build that acumen and you build that history and that resume by competing just like this. What can they do here? CLG predicts on height versus the ships, and Cubski and the rest of Oxygen take a completely different route, opting for the flank on the far west side. And Bird's just going to pick up some of those shield bats, the Phoenix kit, med kit, grapple back to safety, and here becomes the poke battle. Wingmans in hand. It's really going to be about who hits their shots and who gets aggressive.
Yeah, Oxygen is on the low ground right now. They will have to work their way up, but they did indeed get the meds. CLG, they have the best angles here. I think this could be an easy 3v3 as long as they don't mess up. Oxygen's taking so much damage right now. They're struggling to find an entry. Look at Nano. Oh my goodness. From across the map, just connects to on the dot. This isn't looking good for Oxygen.
Cubski here in trouble, especially when you mention it so perfectly. The care package doesn't go their side. The zone, yes, it might be pulling, but fighting from low ground is so difficult. There's so few angles to play as you're making your way up the mountain, which seems like a disastrous kind of hill to climb. And Nano and Bird know it. Look at this angle that Bird has. It's almost like shooting fish in a barrel. Rolders trying to bide his time, but this angle is going to make it very difficult for him to get anywhere except back to base. Cubski going in, hits the one knock there with the wingman, but it's going to be a 2v1. This should end it up here, and that's a clean 2-0 for CLG.
Yeah, what do you think they're going to have to do in this next round to pull it back? Because you know what? Each map counts, and you should be trying as hard as you can each map. I think giving up the high ground and taking that low ground was not the play. Every time I've seen a team play that low ground when it's not directly pulling that way, it's never worked out in their favor.
I do like the willingness to adjust and make a different decision for how they wanted to play this next round. It shows that this team is willing to iterate, and they're also willing to take risks. And that may not pay off here, but as long as you keep that momentum up and you keep the confidence of, hey, this didn't work out, now we can try it again, I think this is going to actually play in Oxygen's favor. But unfortunately, there's just not a lot of time. No more mistakes can be made. They've got to play perfect rounds here. And Nano knows it, so they're going to get a little aggressive. They're going to try to get that early down. Cubski rotating around on the left side with the flat line in hand. Gets some hip fire, but he's aggressed by 2, and this just makes it that much easier for CLG to now have a 3v2 because Cubski has gone into the void. They should push this advantage, and they are. Bird actually goes down, though, and this is huge. Could Nano finish it off? Yes, it's going to be 2 for Nano. Vatroh as well just has to clean up Cubski, and although Cubski has the high ground, he is in a very big disadvantage here. He's going to get the shield bat off. Can magic happen, girl?
pops off the battery. He's in a 1v2 situation. He's playing those corners adjustingly, but he's not outputting enough damage. They nerfed that Eva 8, and it's not going to be able to carry you to it'll carry you to the next map, but you just got 3-0'd.
Wow, wow, wow. What a start. And girl, prediction fans are having a field day, celebrations in the streets, because it's looking very tough, especially if you take these results and you apply them to the rest of the series. But of course, this is what exactly happened between our first matchup with Arena Demons and Torrent. It was not a good start. What is it about Party Crasher that tends to be one team is just so heavily favored and then the other team doesn't seem to find their rhythm before the match is over?
I think it's really about holding your ground and knowing which angles to peek. It seemed like Oxygen, when they took the low ground, their game was over. I could kind of tell from there. But they ended up losing the 3v3 up top. I don't know if Wraith was the play per se. Yes, she was great for getting out of sticky situations, but potentially if they had an Ashe, they could get back up to that high ground.
Right.
It is what it is.
Well, I think maybe the Octane would have been better, and I think the reason is they had no utility as a squad. Wraith wasn't providing anything like the jump pad could easily do in terms of mobility. The stem could easily do in terms of getting around a corner, chasing, or escaping. And the Into the Void, what I love about it in general for these elongated fights, for the shorter fights where an arena map with a short range and a much kind of like closer impact range here, it hurts because it actually takes you out of the fight and gives the other team a 3v2 advantage, even though you're technically staying alive.
Unless you're able to input a lot of damage where your teammates could get that knock and you get out safely, then there's really no point into playing her. So when she phases out, she still has to heal up before she gets back into the fight, like you said. So they really need to work together as a unit to be able to get the knock with the Wraith and get her out and back in. So it takes a lot of coordination and teamwork there.
Well, Thermal Station will be our next map, and this is the big decision for them. Do you stick with the Wraith? Cubski has been playing Wraith in competitive for as long as I can remember. Very comfortable on the Legend, but this is arenas, and you know certain abilities have different impacts in a bigger BR experience, and also in this shorter, confined, more restricted arenas experience. So will we see the switch? That's the big question. Girl, give me a 50-50. You think we're switching or we're not switching on Cubski?
Honestly, I'm not going to switch
No switch.
I don't think Cubski's going to switch, but if he switches, let's see a Caustic or something.
Okay. Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was like, wow. What are the
I see him playing Wraith. I really see Cubski playing Wraith. I think maybe a portal kidnap or getting portals and angles with Wraith on this map. It's a 3v3, like head-on, headbutt map, so it wouldn't be too bad to play Wraith here.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately, having seen it in this round, don't necessarily see it applying well. I think the Ashe, I think the Octane, I even think if you want to go more defensive and get into a Rampart is going to be better for Cubski to play. And not only just because of, you know, maybe just utility-wise, it's going to provide more for the team. But I think the pace isn't fast enough. I haven't seen any of these rounds last long enough for a Wraith portal to actually have an impact yet. But again, you don't have to wait to charge them up. You can buy them. Maybe there's a different purchasing strategy. That's one of the beautiful things about arenas. You can use your credits in any way you see fit. You want to get that ultimate round 2, start off with a huge kidnap play or an attempt. You can do it. It's risky, but hey, that's what it's all about when you're fighting for $10,000 over the course of 2 days at the UMG Arenas Invitational. It's Rain Day and Girl on the mic. We're in map 2. CLG with a nice sweep 3-0 in Party Crasher, and now it's Thermal Station, where we'll see them battle again for a potential 2-0, or if we'll see the series evened up.
The really important part is playing Pathfinder here. It's like not to take too much damage. You don't want to take too much damage playing Pathfinder, or you could cost your team the game. We've seen it happen earlier. Wraith, look at Cubski going. Cubski with the Mozambique, just getting that entry frag. He's going in. They take down 2, and they take down the last one. They're both correct here, but the momentum, Rain Day, the momentum is here.
The momentum. That's all you want. And Nano can heal all those shells, but as he heals, 2 players heal for the same amount up top, and that's just not good math I don't care if you pass calculus or not. You don't need an advanced degree to realize that those numbers just don't work out in your favor. Oxygen Esports out to a blazing start.
Good start indeed, CLG. They're going to have to look out for that push in the next round because they just head-butted right into them. GSBird, he's just getting outplayed on this dome right here. And then they push the Gibby on the head glitch. There's nothing he could do, honestly. And then the 1v2, like you called it, it's just way too hard to clutch against these pros, especially when you're an Octane in a corner.
We just call it bad math around here. Apex Legends sometimes does become a math problem. You just can't do enough damage to enough people in enough time. And that's sometimes what happens, especially in arenas when you get these early ones. Bird getting out to the pill. Beautiful grapple right away. Notices the rotation here coming from Oxygen Esports. And Oxygen notices Nano kind of separate on the side. Going to do about 35, 45 damage as he's across with the flat line, no sight. And Cubski's going to hold down the bottom line here. Bird, as well as Vatroh, trying to approach at the doors, but being held inside by Protectful. Bit of a stalemate standoff here. He's going to go into the E mode as well. Both just staring at each other through the door. Thermite would really come in handy right now, wouldn't it, girl?
Yeah, it would indeed. Cubski's actually holding the back there. So potentially if they push this door in the front altogether, they could get an entry frag. Has he jumped off of that door? Nope. Cubski's on the back. He fakes opening the door, like fakes going outside. He's chilling. Protectful's got an angle there. Now it's about those shotguns. Potentially if they had Peacekeepers or Mastiffs here in this situation, they could pump the door and just two-tap the Gibby, but
Cubski looks like he actually lost a little bit of health there. He might have gone outside and tried to poke, but the high ground is being held, I think, by CLG quite well. And I think this is where CLG maybe has the advantage. I think holding this outside is a little stronger than holding inside, especially if you don't need to go inside. But we're going to see where this zone pulls. It seems like a slower round is in the works. And I like this adjustment by CLG because the second they lose one round, you could see the immediate change happening. And there it is. The door's open. Oh, it's fireworks time. Nano looks like he's getting exposed. Oh, but so is Oxygen. They're losing a lot of damage here, but it's going to be Bird who goes down to Protectful early on. Cubski, he has time to get a shield battery, and why not do it? This is definitely going to apply more pressure onto CLG, who have already lost one, and Oxygen Esports have 3, but CLG has the high ground.
They do, and they got that knock. They had to get those trades inside. Now they're down one man. When you saw Cubski run off that door towards his teammates, you knew that they were pushing that, and they ended up getting that knock. But I wonder why CLG just didn't go full on in. Having this 2v3 situation seems a lot harder than trying to get those last hits on those two players that were less than 50 HP.
Now you need a free kill.
Yeah.
You need to get something somewhere easy for cheap. You got to go to the bargain store, 99-cent store, find something of value that you might have cost retail, full retail price if you found it at a higher end boutique. But right now you could see Vatroh and Nano just doing what they need to do well. Protectful jumps up. Does he give it away? He does. Nano has to get a shield bat off. Can he? Oh my God, he gets the door. Nano so close to so much damage. Vatroh still alive by himself. But look at this, Cubski and Raiders is almost down. Vatroh could clutch it up, but no, it's going to be Oxygen Esports barely making it out alive.
Protectful with that clutch, that 1 HP clutch. Wow. Whew.
I mean, we have to look at this again because they did everything. Everything that they needed to do there. It just was about one bullet away from deciding that, and that's how close it can be. For a 2v3, I think they played that perfectly. They got the early kill. I think Protectful made a tough decision here, trying to go up, and it seemed like maybe the team wasn't on the same page. But look at Cubski right there, the hip fire.
1 HP, literally 1 HP.
Hey.
Oh, that's a nice win, but they almost lost that 2v3. That would have been bad.
Thermite comes out from Nano, but if I was him, I would save it because you can see how valuable it would have been in last round. So he's got a Thermite in his hand. Says, no, Rain Day, I might want to use this bad boy right now. Bird on the high ground, getting a bigger vantage point. Looking down upon them. This is going to be a tough one for Oxygen to push back, and that's a shield crack onto Cubski as well. The fight engaging, another shield crack. Bird doing tons of damage here. 500 already. Just a moment's gone. here in this first part of the fight. And it looks like Rolders is in trouble. He's going to go down here too. But will Bird fall as well?
Bird, 1 HP. He's going to play his life here. Vatroh doing a 1 clipping. Oh my goodness, with the Volt. This Mozambique's got to hit this last shot here on Protectful. And there's a GG. Woo, that was a good one by CLG. They played the height. They played patiently. They got double cracks, and then they pushed off of that. Good teamwork. They almost went down pushing that because the bubble wasn't quite enough around the corner, so they didn't have that protection, but it ended up working well.
And wasn't
this bubble?
Yeah, right here. I mean, this was I mean, really, you talk about sometimes hitting your shots, and I think we talk so much about the meta, and we forget the micro, where sometimes the guy who just hits his shots, or the girl who hits their shot, anybody who just hits their shots wins the fight. And you do more damage. It's as simple as that. Vatroh was beaming. So you cannot let that Gibby be in such a confident position with the shield up as well. Protectful says, yeah, we want to take high ground again. Hopefully a Thermite is involved in this engagement, because it seems like we might just be seeing a replay of round number 2.
Oxygen taking the inside again. They're very comfortable playing the inside, but I don't think the same trick is going to work on them one more time. So if they are split up, potentially you can see CLG knocking the door down. But in this round, we see Volts. We have better guns. We might even have better shotguns. So kicking a door down is not going to work. The Thermite's coming in. The massive shot only hits for 11 and it's hitting the wall. Cubski's going to have to phase out. That means he's out of the fight for a couple seconds longer. GSBird with the PK. He can't do anything to help his team. He's stuck outside. He's got to get inside.
This is huge. That door block made a lot of problems for CLG. Vatroh, though, up on top, looking to keep making this happen, and they're going to find themselves a win. It's 2-2. We're going to another, and this is just becoming better and better as it marinades. We are loving CLG versus Oxygen here, and a lot of counterplay here, especially with Oxygen and CLG kind of having similar locations where they're fighting, and now CLG getting the higher end of that, playing from outside. And you mentioned it as well, girl, the firepower was just a difference in round 1. Having the Peacekeepers, the Mastiffs, and the better weapons, that just changed the whole pace of that engagement.
And they just had more crafting materials, so they were able to buy more grenades. There was no stalemate in that situation because those Thermites were knocking everything down. That's what happens. This time, CLG is going to take the high ground first. They're going to have the Octane jump pad to utilize. We're going to even use our grapple to get this high ground, and Oxygen is not going to be pushing towards their building anytime soon. They're going to opt to take the middle, which is fine. Cubski, that's really nice tracking from across the map on a head glitch, so that's nice, but he's gonna have to run back. He's gonna get tagged up a little bit, but CLG has claimed dominance on the high ground.
And this is a great spot to be. They got the Pathfinder zipline as well. There's momentum, there's mobility, and there's options for Oxygen to have to go against. CLG put themselves in a great position here, and however, the care package still up to Oxygen to potentially grab that first, and it looks like they will have the opportunity, since they are playing more of that low ground, more flexibility to maneuver. It may just opt into a better weapon to turn the tide somehow. Long range, maybe a G7, maybe a triple take. We haven't seen any G7s here as well, girl. That's kind of an interesting miss for me, not involved in today's matches.
Look at that zone pull. The zone pull towards them. Oxygen are now leaving the inside, going outside. Have they gotten that care package? They got the wingman shots on deck. It's so hard to see over all of this lava, but Protectful and Rolders, they're playing together. They're playing tight. That's what you need to do right now, because it might turn into a 3v3 dome fight. CLG, though, they're not pressured whatsoever.
I find Protectful spots so dangerous. Creeping on that right side, you feel like you're getting the angle on them, but unfortunately you get exposed to about 2 different angles and have no cover to retreat to. It's one of those tricky things when you're trying to get aggressive, but you're playing from the low ground. That Thermite does a lot of work, though. It really pushes Vatroh into a defensive position. 860 damage already done by Bird, but Protectful and the rest of Oxygen underneath trying to fight this one out. Who's going to hit the shots? That could be a knock there. Vatroh goes down. What can Cubski do? Does he have Into the Void left? He's still staying in the fight. Bird looking for the Peacekeeper shot. He'll crack that one. Cubski from behind. It's Bird, but Cubski and Bird have 1 health each. Is Bird going to go back? The shield bat indeed is going to be thrown. Wow, what a Thermite would do here in this position, but Cubski going to play it a little slower, and he might even opt for the res. He's got 2 shields to play from. One's going to block the staircase, and then he's going to look for the revive, but Bird is on it. He smells what's going on, and now it's Cubski versus Bird. But Bird's got a lot of work to do to finish this one off. Uh-oh.
I was going to say this is an easy win for Bird, but Bird gets tagged back. He's playing those shields, and having a Wraith play those shields is very dangerous. So they got a shot off on each other, and Bird is going to drop down. He's going to take angles here. Oh, is he going for the med kit? Not quite sure.
Is this the angle, though? Is this the angle?
He's breaking the door.
Oh,
he dies.
No, he dies in the ring! Oh, Cubski! Oh, and if that was me, I'd fall over just like that. Are you serious? I didn't even get a chance to play. I didn't even get to go against him. That's
Shout
like
out to the down teammates. They're holding that door.
You know, it's called a love-hate relationship for a reason with your teammates, because sometimes moments like that just make you say, what is going on, guys? I mean, do we have the same goal? Me alive, him not? I don't think there was good communication there, and I don't know why he just didn't open it. Maybe he just couldn't jump over in time. Bit of a miscalculation there from a man and Oxygen Esports, and that's going to put them in a deficit here. One more win for CLG. They're going to go up 2-0.
2-0 is not where you want to be standing on the O side. So Protectful, they've got the high ground this time. They've reversed roles. So Oxygen should have the better position here. They are on the high ground, but they've got to be careful for all of these Sky Nades that are about to come through. These Arc Stars coming through. Protectful, pop that battery. Dodging those Arc Stars. Arc Stars are much easier to dodge than full-on grenades, so they'll be okay for now. They've got those headshot angles, and they're going to play this out slowly.
Cubski firing away up top. Oxygen knows they've got to get it done here. No excuses, no mistakes. That last round's going to be playing inside of their head. But as a competitor, you got to get rid of it. Cubski tracking like a dang phenom, but it's not enough to be talented. You got to put pen to paper. You got to make results appear, and you got to see quantifiable impact. And that's where Nano has had a good chance to show his quantity of damage. Already gets Cubski after the shield bat back off of his shield. Rolders and Protectful, though, content to hold up top. Still 19 seconds before the second circle moves. CLG feeling confident, but not out of this one yet.
If you were CLG right here and you were on the low ground, would you like to play it a lot slower, or would you like to get entry damage and push up onto Oxygen?
Well, I think I'd like to be on this. I'd like to be on this high ground where Protectful is, and you can see it works really well. Bird and the rest of the teammates moving as one, and then one by one falling down because they were not in the best position here. Protectful gets a nice shield battery as well. It's going to be a 3v2 advantage here. Bird already eliminated. This should be Oxygen in the bag, unless the teammates of CLG can pull something off like they did last time. One of those sneaky door holds, one of those confusing moments that catches Oxygen off guard. Vatroh, he's hitting his shots. It's enough for Rolders. Is it enough for Protectful? No way. Vatroh turns this around. He will. Oh, CLG. Vatroh, we told you. Sometimes you just got to hit your shots, and boy, oh boy, did he. CLG wins map 2 and takes a 2-0 lead over Oxygen.
There's absolutely no way. They just won a 2v3 with
nuts.
1 HP to spare. Oh my goodness. I need to see that replay 10 times over to see what just happened, because they were hitting those shots. We'll see it when we come back from break here. Randy, how do you feel about that session? I got one on you.
You do. You got 2 on me, but it's not over yet. However, I will say, it's not looking good on my side, guys. Maybe I talk too much trash. Who knows? Girl might just have this one in the bag. We'll see after this break.
And welcome back, everybody, to the UMG Champions Apex Legends Arena $10,000 Invitational. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Rain Day and Girl. And what a second map. And I say second map because first map, well, wasn't too close, all right? CLG ended up winning Party Crasher 3-0, but Thermal Station was a banger for many reasons. And Rain Day, I want to pass it to you first, because that final replay, no Girl, she's been all giddy about that final rounds, but
oh man,
big win from CLG, brother.
Yeah, it was a wonderful showcase, not only of adjustment, which is one of my favorite things I can see a team do that gives me a lot of confidence with how they'll be going forward, being able to adjust to different things that especially aren't in their favor. But overall, I just love execution. I think Vatroh, to me, I mentioned it, he was beaming, and the way that you could see that show up, not only in the moments where they're already at an advantage, but also when it's time to clutch. That, to me, shows a really consistent and solid player and somebody that you got to watch out for in the Apex scene.
So, girl, that final play, that final round that, like I said, has got you. And mind you, the round before that was just as exciting, right? The Wraith hiding behind the shields was a beautiful, beautiful moment. But, losing that final round honestly, losing this map in general for Oxygen is going to hurt as a whole. But I think that last round is going to sting even more.
Oh, absolutely. My ego, oh my goodness, it's gone. It's gone after that one. I can't believe they won. GSBird ended up going down because Nano ended up taking that flank, right? And they noticed that he was so far away, but they end up hitting all of these massive shots. And Vatroh with 1 HP, he takes the angle, he just pre-fires around the corner and tags his head right there and ends up winning it off. That 2v3 is gonna feel so sweet for so long. It's just gonna take it in, boys. Take it in.
Don't get up.
Hey, she's pumped up. Not only is she 2-0 up over you, Rain Day, but she also just saw an amazing moment. She was saying off camera how much she just loves arenas. And I do too. The action is great. And Rain Day, this is your first time actually casting arenas. I know you played it. I know you've watched it, but how are you enjoying it so far?
I'm loving it because I grew up, my entire content creation esports journey began doing arenas in a game called Smite. And most people played the Conquest version of it. And I loved arenas, the quick, the simple, the right to the team fight. I've always been a fan of that. And when Apex announced it, I was just overjoyed. And to see the way UMG has put together these tournaments, but also the way these competitors have shown up, the way they've taken it so seriously, the way that they've developed the strategies, and we've seen different looks other than the BR of how to play this game and how to be successful and things you can't quite see as often. I think it's a beautiful way for newer players and even experienced Apex Legends players to get some value that normally wouldn't be added if you were just watching a normal BR game.
Yeah, and one thing girl brought up actually on the last broadcast, or maybe even the first one, she's already done all 3 of these arenas tournament. That's just how much she loves it. And she did say, this is a great opportunity to put a magnifying glass on teams and players that you wouldn't necessarily have a chance to really watch because BR, well, there's got a lot going on. This is going to be a big map 3 for Oxygen. They need a comeback. If they don't, they're going to be going down the loser bracket. So Rain Day girl, take it away.
Thanks, Taylor. Rain Day girl here. I think for me, the point Taylor just made and the point that you've probably gotten excited about, girl, is you can see new looks of players that maybe aren't stars in the ALGS yet, or have had moments in the ALGS, but have been, I would say, overshadowed by some of the bigger teams and the bigger names that are always in the conversation and in the dialogue, the zeitgeist of really the community at a high level. This gives you a new look and a much more intimate look at the things that they do from a tactical and a technical standpoint that really can allow people to become more fans of them and help us as casters appreciate their gameplay in different ways. So I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm excited now seeing especially the way CLG has performed. They've really impressed me here.
Yeah, absolutely. In arenas, you can see these teams just fight and fight and fight and fight. And we don't see that in BR. We see the rotation. We see the 20 squads in zone 3. We see the third party. It's more about like being in the right position at the right time, even though we all know these players are the most mechanically skilled players in this game, right? So it's really nice to have your bird's eye onto these players, seeing how they play individually and just crossing each and every legend and seeing the different legends they can also flex and play as well. There's not so many players in this game that can flex maybe more than 2 legends. You're either on Wraith or you're on Ashe, and that's it. You're either on Gibby or you're on Gibby, or your friends won't play with you. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
We don't need a Mirage third. Sorry for the rank grind. No, we're okay. We're good. Yeah, we're full. I think at the end of the day, Protectful, he wants to be full, but he's full of a clip from the other team, and not exactly the way that he envisioned it. That's going to be CLG rounding it out yet again. It seems like maybe Oxygen has lost a little bit of the oxygen and a little bit of a gut punch last round, not actually being able to close that up and tie it. when they seemed like they were in a really good position to do so, or at least bring it back between 3 or 4. But yeah, CLG really has started to pick up the momentum, girl, and I'm not sure that they're going to lose it here. Oxygen has to hit us with something new, something different, and maybe a different pace, tempo to bring to this game.
Yeah, when they bring the fast-paced tempo in the beginning of the rounds, they normally tend to do really well. I respect Protectful for going for that headshot with the wingman. Otherwise, he didn't hit the headshot. He hit the body shot, but if he hit the headshot, he may have been able to pull out the biggest clutch of his life. There is CLG. They do get the bins. Oxygen, I'm not quite sure if they're going to be down on resources now. They're already down on meds. Trying to get angles here. They have to get the best angles of their life. Nobody has nades to nade them out of this little room. Cubski getting tagged up. Gotta go back and heal. He's gonna get pushed here. Nano with the dome. He's down to 1 HP. He faces out, trading space for his team to come and flank, but his teammate flanking didn't really work out.
There's just too much momentum. There's just too much, I think, confidence on the side of CLG. Even though Protectful gets a knock here, there's still a lot of work to do for him. If he hits a headshot, could happen. If he hits another one, could, but the punch comes out. I think that symbolizes it all. That CLG are feeling very, very confident that they will be knocking themselves into the next round. One more win will do it, and it will seal the deal in a 3-0 in both capacities, in the game and in the set. And I think, girl, I mean, should I start apologizing now? No. Let's wait. They could turn it around. They could turn it around. How would they? What do you think is needed? I guess when you look at Oxygen, what's gone wrong and what's needed to adjust here, if there's anything?
They can't rely on the Wraith to create so much space for them, because she created space, she phased out, and they still ended up losing anyways. She's not outputting enough damage. She actually took damage and ended up dying for free there. And honestly, I just don't think the character is a top tier for arenas right now.
I mean, it's even questionable. You know, you have the BR approach, but there's been a lot of teams who have abandoned Wraith in general, even in the traditional mode of Apex. So Cubski staying true to the main. Has that worked with the team? Maybe not. Cubski finds a nice little kill here, but he loses one in the process. Rolders will go down. So Cubski and Cubski and Protectful versus Nano and Vatroh. We know how well Vatroh has been. Protectful jumping up with the wingman as well. Needs to hit these shots. A big headshot will do it, but he can't hit it. Vatroh, though, going down. This is Cubski on the push. Protectful as well knows, hey, we bide our time. We have the advantage. How could you do it? You let Vatroh snipe you. Will he clutch it up again? This is for the win. Vatroh versus Cubski. Girl, it all comes down to this. These two have been playing lights out for both of their teams, but Vatroh has been beaming. He clutched it up once. He's looking to clutch it up once more, and this will be Cubski going down. CLG moves on to the next round off a performance of a lifetime here by Vatroh. You gotta admit, this guy is popping off.
Hey, you can see a pattern here. Vatroh in every clutch situation, he's helping win it. And his teammates actually helped him win it as well. The problem Oxygen had right there was healing on that door. They healed on the door. His teammates were on that door and they just opened it. He got a free beam, the 70. He could not get his shield bat off because the teammates opened the door and ended up going down for free. Made it a 1v1. Vatroh wins his ones every time.
Yeah, I mean, he was hugely consistent. Gotta say, really impressed with CLG. Agreed. You know, sometimes you do see in these round ones, Rain Day, where one team is going to dominate the other. I didn't expect that, to be honest with you, especially with how hyped up Oxygen was. And it's not a joke either, right? Because they're an incredible team with an incredible roster. But CLG, at least when it comes to arenas, clearly have done their homework.
Yeah, I think CLG came together with a game plan. I think they executed like a team. You look at those two moments. One where the door, Cubski gets lost in the first round in Thermal Station. That's a teammate on the side of CLG holding that door after they're down so that Cubski can't do it. That's essentially the assist. That's really a kill. You look at this as well. Already down, opens the door while that I believe it's Cubski is healing or Protectful is healing. That turns into an easy kill for Vatroh. So CLG to me just played more like a team. They made the little moments matter, and ultimately I think that's why they got the win. They seem like they also we're just a gear above Oxygen. Despite how well Oxygen could have played, CLG clearly deserved to go on in this round.
Oh, it's great clutch from Vatroh. This wasn't even the only one he was able to perform in this series. Really cool, calm, and collected when the pressure is on. You know, honestly, girl, I think the series in a way ended during Thermal Station. I go back to, you know, that final round that was obviously fantastic for CLG, but I also go back even further than that when Oxygen had the 2-0 lead. Things were looking great for them. You know, all day today, we've seen, you know, a team win 3-0, and then now this, you know, the script is flipped in the next map. Then that other team who lost 3-0 wins 3-0. I thought that was going to be the case with Oxygen. It just simply wasn't. And I think that really was the final straw that broke the camel's back, in my opinion, girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you lose a clutch like that, there's no getting over it. They tried. They did their best. He ended up being out of position in the next round, in the first round of the new map, just dying for free as the Wraith. It's just hard. It's hard to take it all in. But Vatroh, he was hyped up. His teammates must have been calming like crazy there because they've been blocking the doors to kill them. They opened the doors to kill him. He's right here. Come shoot. Like, they just played better together.
Yeah, I got to say they did, man. You know, hey, CLG looking serious. We got a lot of great contenders in C&D who might be moving forward into playoffs. We already have 4 talented teams who are going to be in the playoffs regardless, though. But it seems like this one came to a short end, a lot shorter than Rain Day you were wanting. I was even wanting at Big 3-0. It's going to hurt.
Well, she's a wizard, you know. I got to give it back to her. She gets her wizard powers back. Now we'll just see if she stays or if she becomes like Dumbledore or something, or if she goes back down to, you know, losing the wizard powers here. We'll find it if she's a muggle. We'll find out.
Oh,
in the next one.
Don't call her a muggle.
I'm sorry. I mean, hey, you know, we're going to find out.
You're ridiculous. I love you, though, man. You guys are a great duo. Hopefully one day you guys can get on the same page. Well, that's the first series done. I know we have several more to get. And we do have another series that's about to be taking place. Onset and Gaskin will be jumping on. And I'm curious to see how C&D is going to end up shaping up. But before we do get to that point, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, some more great action to come your way.